This is the ABQ Business Podcast with your host, Jason Rigby. Each week, we'll interview visionary business leaders to inspire the creative power and spirit that's in every entrepreneur. Discussing strengths, weaknesses, strategies, systems, and the problems we can all solve together for a new future for local small business.
Hey guys, how you doing? This is Jason Rigby. I'm excited about this show. I've got Jasmine on. Jasmine, your last name is Ziska.
It is.
Yeah, it's at least it's better because I know we're going to be talking about men's health and especially skincare products and stuff like that. Ladies, this will be interesting for you too, so don't tune out. But I like your name. At least it's not like Zumba or something like that. Isn't there like a fitness thing called Zumba or something like that?
There is a fitness thing called Zumba, and I'll tell you what, I'll take Ziska, even though it's a little uncommon, because my name is Ladawig. Can you imagine it?
Oh wow, yeah. This is way easier. So, yeah, it's kind of a cool name or whatever. It sounds like a badass like dog that you would find like in Alaska or something like that. Like, oh, that's a Ziska. You know, it's really cool name.
I'm pretty sure people say that about me. Hopefully not the dog part, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, no, that would be cool. Yeah. So if you ever change your name, you got to promise me to get like a husky or something and name it Ziska.
Well, my ex-husband to make sure he's.
Yeah, you'll have to ask him, but yeah. Or keep it as a middle name. That would be like a perfect middle name because that's like really like. Have you watched those shows where they have the where they're getting like wives from like Russia or the Philippines or whatever?
No, not extensively, but I feel like that's been going on, just hasn't been on a show.
Yeah, they have like a reality show for it. And it's like if you could like change your Jasmine around a little bit and then like it'd be like some Russian name, Jasmine Siska, and then you got some 65-year-old creepy dude, trying to send you money and get you to become an American citizen. It's really interesting. I think it's on Netflix. It may be on Hulu. I'm not for sure. I watched like 2 episodes and I was like, this may be a little too, I'm getting old and up there. So I may be doing this 20 years from now. So I don't think I'm going to watch this, but.
Well, I'm going to put it out there. If there's a 65-year-old that would like to send me money, that is okay. You're welcome to do that. Let me put that out there for the record.
Yeah, there's even like it's so funny because I'm single. So I'll go on apps and stuff like that. And there's always that. Especially at UNM, there's like, because I'm 46, but I work out and all that stuff. So, but there's always like, are you looking for a sugar baby? There's like the sugar daddy, sugar baby thing.
Oh, I know.
And I didn't even know anything about it. And so somebody told me, I was like, this is weird. So I didn't know what it was. So I looked it up on Google and I was shocked at, there's like websites for all this shit. There's like this seedy underground, like give me money, let me do my thing type of real weird.
Oh, I know. It's a thing for sure. That's disgusting.
Yeah. So I was talking to one of my friends' daughter and she's like, oh yeah, everybody's had it. It's like an old man experience. That's what we call it. It's like, we'll have a relationship with an old guy for 3 to 6 months. I was like, where are all these young hot girls? I don't see any of them around, but I guess I got to go on there.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, it's funny. So let's get into exactly what you do, because this is kind of, like I said, I want to get into first with what you do, especially on the skincare side of things, because I saw your Instagram, super cool. If somebody wants to get a hold of you on Instagram, what's their, not to either give you money or to do because you do skincare products. You also have imagine you're doing facials and stuff like that, because that's all open starting when?
I am opening my schedule on the 9th. And people can contact me, or if they just want some information, I post little skincare tips, and everything is specifically customized for men. So it's not for women's skincare. Although, like you had said earlier, women absolutely listen to this, because chances are you're probably advising your boyfriend. I can't tell you how many times I hear, well, my wife got me blah, blah, blah. And so you can find me at Men's Skin Lab ABQ on Instagram or Facebook.
Oh, okay. So Men's Skin Lab ABQ. And that shows everything. So let's get into this a little bit, because I know your typical man, and they probably have never, most men, maybe a little bit more now, but most men don't have, like they may get lotion from Costco, and maybe when they got a little dry skin, they put some lotion on or whatever. I know when I get tattoos, I'll may put lotion on, that type of thing. What do you see lacking the most, with men as far as like skincare goes?
Yes. So I would say that men don't realize that they actually have, or you actually have, thicker skin than women. And so by between 25 and 30%, also men have more sensitive skin than women. And that is because of testosterone levels. So what happens is you can go to Costco, or you can go, wherever it is that you go to buy products, and just kind of put whatever it is in your cart. The problem is most products are geared toward women. And so they're not penetrating your skin. So they're kind of sitting on the surface and then going to waste. So essentially, you're just buying a whole bunch of bullshit that you don't even really need. So I'd say the number one thing that is lacking with men's skincare is that men, you cannot use bar soap on your face. So please stop doing that.
I can't use the shampoo conditioner that I have.
Please stop doing that. Be nice to your skin. And also, I would say that just a good cleanser is like such a great way to start somewhere.
So like a facial cleanser?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, see, I'm already getting wigged out as a guy. I'm sitting here thinking I've had to be dragged into Ulta before, and I walk around, and it's like the most embarrassing shit ever. As you're seeing like all this, there's like all these Kardashian big, huge posters everywhere, and then there's all these different lines, and it's confusing, and you just have that whole like it just seems so intimidating. I don't know if guys tell you that or not.
Oh, well, and here's the thing. It's not like they're singled out. When I go into Ulta, I about have an anxiety attack. I can't even stand it. There's so many creams for everything. There's a cream for this, a cream for that, a night cream, a day cream. By the time I leave, I've left with nothing because I have no idea
Right.
what has just happened, and now I feel stressed. And so that's the great thing about let me just be shameless and plug myself, but that's the good thing about coming to somebody that's educated like myself, is that you don't even have to worry about that. I will look at your skin, I will diagnose, I will see what it is you even care about to begin with, and then customize a regimen for you. Or I would say that most men, a great place to start is with shaving.
Right. I was going to talk to you about that.
Yeah, that's something that you already do. So it doesn't, my point is, I suppose, it doesn't have to be complex. You don't need to do a cleanser, a serum, a blah. I would love it if you did, but really, don't get overwhelmed. It's not necessary. Just find a place to start and make sure that it is for men and know your skin type.
Okay, so what if you're a guy and you're sitting here thinking, "Oh, okay, this makes sense. Someone can walk me through this." What would be kind of some of the things? So if you're a guy and you're like, "I'm going to go all in. This is something
Yeah.
that I need to take care of my skin. I'm starting to get wrinkles. I go out in the sun all the
Mhm.
time. I don't give two shits about it. Now I'm going to start caring." So what would you start with the face first, or
I mean, yeah, absolutely. And so, here's the thing. I would say that not necessarily everyone is my client. However, I hear so many different reasons of why people want to start taking care of their skin, specifically men. And some men, I have some executives, and I'll be really honest, they don't give a shit whether they leave with glowing skin or not. They just like it because it's a relaxing experience. So I have plenty of
right.
women just for that, just because I'm going to put headphones, I'm going to massage their arms and their face, and no one's going to talk to them. So there's that. I have men that are recently divorced and they find themselves in the dating scene again. And yeah, now they're starting to think about fine lines. Or how about all these women that are looking, absolutely phenomenal in their 50s and 60s, and now their husbands are trying to keep up with how good they look. And so you're going to go all in. I would say getting some sort of skincare service, whether it is a vitamin infused facial or just, a really good exfoliation every 4 to 6 weeks. And then I would customize an actual program that would, if you're going all in, that would be a cleanser, a pH balancer, a serum, and a moisturizer, and a very good product to shave with.
Okay, so there's like 4 or 5 things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't. I mean, if somebody like showed you, and that would be something you would do, like show you kind of here, you need to do this. This step goes first, then this second, and then this third. I mean, that doesn't seem 4 or 5 things as long as I know kind of like an idea of how to use it, and then you just do it daily.
I would say in my perfect world, I would love to see men do this if you want the maximum results morning and night. However, I'm going to be realistic. I'll take a cleanser and a moisturizer, once a day, because a lot of men tell me, well, I can't do that. And they can do that, but if we just start small. And I will tell you this, Jason, believe it or not, the product line that I use is actually numbered. So,
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, they have to do that for us.
yes, there's a 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta-da. Total
Oh
guess.
wow, that's totally good.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at so let's go. I want to kind of go through these steps. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So
Yeah.
so the first thing. So okay, I'm getting up in the morning, regular dude. It's like okay, yeah, I may work out, may not. Before I go to work, I'm gonna hop in the shower. Right. So some people shave in the shower, some people shave after the shower. Of course, I hope you do because it opens. It seems like it opens my follicles and
Yes.
stuff. I have a beard, and so I'm trimming around it and stuff. But okay, in the shower, out of the shower, what step one, how is that happening?
So I would say that it really depends on if it's a day that you're going to shave. So if it's a day that you're not going to shave, then you will just simply do your cleanser in the shower. And some of them, the products that I use are all very, very high grade medicinal organics. Some of them are gel and some of them are clay, depending on your skin type. But easy enough, you can do this in the shower. It should take you less than 1 minute.
Oh, wow.
Very, very, very simple. Then you get out of the shower. The pH balancer is incredible because it is a colloidal silver base, which is very different than alcohol. Colloidal silver will absolutely heal any kind of razor bumps or razor burn or ingrown hairs, but also it's not drying. And we live in New Mexico. We don't need any help drying out our parched skin.
Right.
After that, you would put on a serum, and then after that, go over your moisturizer. So honestly, all of that should maybe take, as far as being out of the shower, I promise, I am not exaggerating, maybe 3 minutes.
And that 3 minutes will save your face 5 years, 10 years, 2 years. I mean, if you take care.
I think if you're really committed and you're coming in for regular services, then I think that you can definitely delay the aging process by quite a few years. And mainly
It's not going to be like Khloe Kardashian.
What's that?
It's not going to be like Khloe Kardashian where you come out looking like a totally different person. Have you seen those really before?
Isn't it unreal?
Yeah, that I saw that the other. Someone showed it to me, and I was like, "This is ridiculous. This doesn't even look like her. Like this is something." They must have used COVID, but then I found out there's her doctor, her plastic surgeon doctor, is named Dr. Diamond, which I thought was kind of a cool name. And he's.
I wish that was my name, kind of.
No, you have a cool name. You're Ziska.
Not Dr. Diamond, though.
Yeah, but I guess he does that. But you're not gonna. People need to realize, and this is what all this hype and all this stuff, and then they have all these people that say your face is going to look like this, but really those people they're contouring their faces, bone structure, getting plastic surgery. I mean, and that stuff's going to turn out horrible later in life. But realistically, if you do these steps 1 through 4, what's going to start happening to your skin?
You are going to start to see any kind of fine lines dramatically reduced, but big time, the elasticity in your skin is preserved, and it's incredible. The collagen is really stimulated in your skin so that it stops sagging. I hear, actually, you want to know, I hear a lot of men that tell me about like dark circles under their eyes. One of the treatments that I use, one of the tools that I use is high frequency. And high frequency was actually discovered by Nikola Tesla. So they've often called it Tesla frequency. And so high frequency oxygenates the skin and it can really diminish dark circles. So that's something that I would do. But if you're using the skincare line that I customize for you, plus coming in to see me regularly, you're going to notice such a difference. You're going to notice tightened skin. You're going to notice that your skin looks really soft and supple. Like for a woman, I would call that more like a glow. For men, it just looks really smooth. But the elasticity in your skin, I think, is a really big deal because that, let's face it, come on, after about 30, 35, I mean, I notice. Do you?
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know, how that goes. I have noticed though, especially for my skin, and maybe you can talk to this. Drinking water seems to be, because I mean, if you're eating shitty and not
Right.
drinking any water and then slapping, I see people do this all the time. It's like they're super obese and then they're buying all these products and stuff like that. It's like at the end of the day, the internal part shows on the outside. Like internally, it like is drinking water good for the skin? Is that probably the number one thing they should do?
I mean, I think that drinking a ton of water is probably the number one thing for a lot of reasons. But yes, your skin is the largest organ you have, and so yeah, staying hydrated is a huge deal
I can
because.
make a joke about that, but I won't.
Well, I kind of like you now. So yeah, I think that it removes toxins. And yeah, you know what? You bring up a really good point. Let me just be really clear about this. You can do and use whatever serum you want to use, but if you're eating like shit and you're, guzzling Dr. Pepper and IPAs all day, there ain't a serum in the world that's going to help you.
Right.
Trust me.
But I mean, at the same time, if let's say they're coming in and getting treatments and stuff like that, and they're fairly healthy, and they're going, and then what like this high frequency thing that sounds really interesting to me because I know a lot of people have like I know I can say I got like lines around my eyes, on the bottom part.
Sure.
And I know a lot of guys, and they'll sell all kinds of stuff online. I've looked it up and all that. I think I have some in my medicine cabinet, and it's like a little bottle and it's got like a little thing in it. It's just for your eye cream, What about that? Because I know most guys are always worried about their eyes.
I mean, I hear it so much. And so here's what I would say is really it's best to talk to somebody like me because there's so much BS out there for women and men. And so the other part to that is we really have to make sure that it is for men, that it is specially designed for men. Otherwise, you're not going to get the results that you're looking for. That just simply can't be achieved if the product can't get down into your skin and into the layer where we start to lose elasticity. And so, yeah, I mean, I would say that the serums now, especially the Om for Men line, the serums, the medicinal quality of them are just the way they're suspended in aloe is amazing. And I can't believe the difference. And truly, I mean, I can talk about this all day, right? And I love to talk about this, don't get me wrong. But what I love is that when men actually get a service, they see the difference for themselves and they see it that day. Right.
Oh, wow.
It's great. So then it's like, the product and the service just speaks for itself. It speaks volume. So guys, if you're not sure, just suspend any disbelief you have and just try it. Just see.
Yeah. Now on like some of you were talking about Tesla and stuff like that. Can you make it like manly? Instead of it being, can you call it like the Tesla treatment or something like that?
Heck yes. I love it. That's such a good idea.
Yeah, the Nikolai, because it's Nikolai Tesla, the Nikolai treatment, or something like that.
Exactly. I know.
Yeah, to make it kind of more manly. Because I'm picturing like this lady sitting there with curlers in her hair, and she's got like these things around her eyes, and it's like these pads, and they're shooting electricity into your face. So I'm trying to get back. I want people to understand, especially men, because we have this big ego, and
Yeah.
and we look at this as being feminine. You know what I mean?
You know what? Yes, I do. And here's what. And so this is interesting. And let me just speak bluntly because we're all friends here. That's okay. So I am definitely my clientele comes to me because not only are they getting a great service, I do men's hair also. I specialize in men's skin. But I also go the extra mile. It's all about pampering. And that being said, I do a lot of extra things. And when I first ask guys that maybe they're a new client and, oh, do you want to do you want these add-ons, let's say? And they go, oh, I don't know. And then as we go through the service, men, they choose every single add-on. And so what that tells me is that men want all of these things. They want to experience a skin treatment, maybe a scalp treatment, maybe they even want a hand treatment, but they're not exactly sure how to go about that because of our egos, and it hasn't really been all that acceptable. But now I work at a place called Steel Blade Men's Salon. What's nice is that it's all men in there. And if you come in, you'll see that a lot of men want these services. And it's a market that is exploding right now.
Right.
I came from Portland recently. There are tons of upscale men's salons. And this is like the new thing. So, I think the point is that I don't want guys to feel funny about like, oh, I don't want to get a facial,
Right.
man voice, by the way. I don't know.
I like it. No, that's good. It's very
voice. But trust me, you're not alone, guys. I have built a whole career on it.
Yeah, no, and I think that's something that people need to realize is that these stereotypes that we have, they're all ancient and old anyways, and we're breaking all that. Society's changing dramatically. So, and you're literally not doing this because you're afraid of what somebody else is going to say, and it's your health. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well, and I do think that it does make a difference that where I work, it is all men. Mostly, of course, there's me, but it is all men because truthfully, I don't necessarily want to go to a barber shop and get foils put in my hair. I would rather go to a place where there's all women. And so I don't blame men for, wanting to go to a place where it's just men, where you can feel comfortable asking for these kinds of services. And, no one's judging you. In fact, if anything, good on you. Take care of your skin. Like, what's the harm in wanting to look younger or age gracefully?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Relax.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing is getting over, because once they're there, like you said, once they're there, once they experience it, then it's something that, like you had said, it's something that's relaxing and something that they can. It's just the whole idea, and I think women get this, and men need to start realizing this is sometimes you just need to stop and treat yourself. Like you need to take the time to make it about you.
Absolutely. Especially, in all this crazy madness going on. I mean, I anticipate being quite busy with people that just simply need to relax. I mean, this whole pandemic has definitely caused a lot of stress. And so I'm really happy to get back into the salon and treat people.
Now, you said you're gonna start June 9th.
Yes, that is true. June 9th.
So is there a way for do they go on, do they DM you, or do you have like how would they set an appointment?
Yeah, you can call the salon. So it's steelblademenssalon.com. And you can go online and choose to book online. You can absolutely DM me at Men's Skin Lab ABQ on Facebook or Instagram, and I'm happy to help you with an appointment that way as well.
And then from there, they could, you could say, hey, I heard it, Jason said it's okay, it's fine. I was in the Marine Corps and I have gotten facials, guys. So it's not that it like I said, like you said, I mean, it's relaxing, and it's something that I don't want people to feel ashamed for taking care of themselves or for trying to look younger. Like you threw out different scenarios, like trying to, their wife is turning around and, she's doing all these things. So you're thinking you may want to do this, or, people coming through, like maybe they're going out of a relationship into a new part of their life, and they're going on the dating scene, and, all these things, we so focus on going to the gym or working out, and then we skip these other parts of our bodies.
I find that so fascinating. So I work at gyms, and I, I am constantly around men and all these men, and hey, they look great. I don't mind. Trust me, I don't mind, guys. Um, and they're working out and everything, and then watch me say the word facial to them, and it's like somebody yelled fire. It's
Right.
it's like, let me get this straight. You're spending hours. I see them with their fancy water. Have you seen those new like packs of water? I don't even know what you would call it. They're like in a pouch now. It's like a Ziploc type.
Oh no, yeah. I seen that. Well, I
Yeah.
bought those stupid hydration things
Yeah.
at Costco. Yeah, where it's like a little pack and you put it in there and it's supposed to like be double water. Like water's not good enough. You've got
Yeah.
to
It's
have
got to be double
double.
water. Yeah. Heck yeah.
And
And
we need to pay.
so,
We can't drink water. We need to pay $2 for a packet to put in the water so
yeah.
that it's double.
Right, exactly. Yes. And so I see all these men and guys, and that are in their 20s that are drinking these packets of water, these pouches of water, and they're working out really hard. And don't worry, I watch you taking your selfies. And
Right. Exactly. 100%.
and then they don't, want to take care of their skin. And let me tell you what, your face is your face. It's not your shirt. You can just change your shirt. You can't just change your face. So if you're working out for the ladies, guys, I would start working on your face as well. Smooth it out.
Yeah, because you may not notice it, but a woman sitting across at a table is going to notice it.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely. Women notice those kinds of things. Absolutely. Men don't, but women do. Absolutely.
And then you can. They're sitting there looking at all those. What are those black things that get on your nose or whatever?
Yes. The blackheads. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a woman's
You.
going to see one of those from a mile away.
It's true. And that's another thing that I hear about a lot from men and women. I don't have women in the salon, but just my friends. We're talking about reducing pores, reducing pores. If you see on magazine covers, it's constantly talking about cleaning out pores and shrinking pores and minimizing pores. So I actually do that, everybody. And
Yeah, that can be torturous, though. We need to give a warning. That fucking metal tool with the little
I
hoop on it or whatever. I don't see how women can go through that because I'm like, God damn it, that's like a 10 in pain right now.
I know. And mine actually, and it's funny, I call it a shovel, and it also has high frequency in it too. So
So it's really pulling out.
it's really, really pulling out.
Yeah, I was like, how much? I was like, is my face falling off? What's going on? I
Right.
did one time, and literally, I was like, because I've had different ones, and it was all, like most of the time it was okay, but I was like, you're really wanting to put me in pain, aren't you? Are you angry at your husband, or what's going on? I mean, that shit was like next level.
I know. No, I'm helping you. Relax.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, there's like a little tool. So it's called a shovel, but it's kind of got like a little space in between. Somebody's wife probably or girlfriend has one, and
Yeah.
you can put it in between like on your nose or whatever, and then it'll pull the clogged pore. It pulls everything out of the pore. Is that what it does?
It does. I also have a special um, gel that I use that only professionals use. You can't buy it because it's pretty intense as far as like the amount of fruit enzymes that are in it.
Oh, right.
Enzyme acts like, because I use organic product, it's not glycolic, so it's a fruit enzyme that goes in. I let it sit on your face for 10 minutes. It tingles a little bit, not to be confused with stinging. It tingles a little bit and it dissolves any dirt underneath or I'm sorry, in your pores. And so then I go in and the tool that I have is actually charged with negative ions, and negative ions then infuse all kinds of nutrients and vitamins into your skin and also pull out all that dirt that's just living in your skin.
So is it pretty brutal with a guy that? Because I imagine you get guys that's never had anything done before. Is
For
it?
me or for them?
Oh no, for you, like when you look at a guy's face and he literally hasn't had anything done ever, maybe just, washes his face occasionally, in the shower or whatever. What does that look like to you?
I'll be really honest. I wouldn't say it's brutal, more than I just know that if they were to start actually taking care of their skin and just switch one thing, that their skin would look a lot less dull.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right.
And so I would say that just, again, being blunt, I see a lot of men that have really dull skin. And so I would say that's the number one thing that I just know that could be better.
So, like, because I want to talk about two things. Speaking of that, and then we'll get into some health, men's health, and stuff like that. But I want to get into shaving.
Yeah.
Because I think that everybody, most all guys do that, whether you have a beard, a mustache, whatever, or you have. What are some of the? Is there any tips out there for shaving that you could give, or what are some of the things that you could help them with in their shaving process?
Absolutely. So, one thing I don't think that men consider, and truly men don't consider a lot of these things, and that's what you have me for. But exfoliating your skin, guys, when you are shaving or before you shave, should I say, is so important because if you slough off some of the dead skin, you'll expose your hair follicle a lot better, and that is going to reduce the chance of you getting ingrown hairs and razor burn. So, exfoliating your skin is super, super important. So, that's one thing that can really help with a smoother shave. But the other thing is, I love the Om for Men. They have an herbal shave emulsion, and it softens up even the toughest facial hair. And so, what I recommend, and I think if we were to rewind at the beginning of this conversation, I said, depending on when you what your regimen is, if it's a shave day or not a shave day. So if it were a shave day, you would cleanse your skin before you get in the shower, and then put the shave emulsion on, and actually let that sit on your skin while you shower. After that, I would shave and let the product do what it's designed to do, so that you get just really a beautiful shave and really smooth, soft skin.
Yeah, and so then from there, then they go on and they could use the other products. So do you? So like after they get done shaving, is there like do you encourage like a lotion put on, or is or
No.
so? Yeah, because see, I've heard this before. Like a lot of people think that they need to put lotion on.
I would say that, but moisturizer and pH balancer are really, really different. And so there's a pH balancer that you would put on. It's really a splash. And that takes seconds, and I do mean seconds, maybe 5 seconds. Feels a lot like water, and that's the one that has a colloidal silver base, and that goes in and then heals any kind of nicks, any kind of razor burn. And so it keeps your skin just really, really super baby soft. And so, not necessarily a moisturizer. I do recommend that, but the first thing to do after you shave would then to be splash on that pH balancer.
So guys are known for, and I want to talk about this real quick. Guys are known for getting out in the sun, like going on a hike or going out four-wheeling, and it's the desert and it's hot and dry and grimy and dirty. I know I have some of my friends that have really oily skin, like really oily skin. You can see like the shine on their skin or whatever. What
Mhm.
like as far as sun protection, and then if you don't mind talking to that, and then talking about oily skin.
Yes. And so I would say that sun protection is the number one way to preserve your skin. Personally, I have a lot of tattoos. I'm sleeved up. And so I make sure that I put sunscreen on my tattoos. So, guys, if you've got tattoos, definitely put sunscreen on. But your face, I mean, the sun will age your skin so quickly. So, putting on sunscreen is extremely important.
Now, is there different? Is there sunscreen that's bad for you? Because I'm always thinking about that. It's like, damn it, I don't want to put. I look on the back of a label on some of these sunscreens, and they can even be expensive ones or whatever. I go to Whole Foods and you look on the back, and it's just like there's just full of all these chemicals and products and stuff. And it's like, is the sun better than putting these chemicals on my face? What
I
what
would
what would you suggest for sunscreen?
again, I know it sounds like I work for the company that I'm talking about, and I don't. So don't be confused. I do not work for Ohm for Men. I just really, really, really like their product line. And they have a sunscreen that is for men, and that is oil free and all organic. And so
Oh, okay. So like
love
tattoos.
it.
Yeah, because I go running all the time and I'm
Yeah.
double sleep too, so whether do they have like a spray sunscreen or anything, or is it better to put the sunscreen on? Is it like, is that bad for you, or how does that work?
I would say that some sunscreen is better than no sunscreen. However, if you can take it a step further and get a sunscreen that's not going to clog up your pores, go do it. Even if it, you stop by the salon or order it from Om for Men online or whatever it is. But I really like their sunscreens for men because, they don't get greasy and they stay matte. But as far as I know, Jason, I've not seen a spray sunscreen for men. I wish, because I definitely like to spray sunscreen on myself because I'm also a runner. But not as far as I've seen.
So like with the super oily skin, because I've seen guys like I said, like their forehead or around their nose, stuff like that, they'll have like that glisten or shine look, or whatever. What is that from? And what would you suggest to men on that?
Yeah, so this is a big topic, and this is one of the number one things that I hear about besides the dark circles and the fine lines around the eyes. So most men come in, or I would say a lot of men come in and talk to me about oily skin, and that is one of their primary concerns. So some of it is simply using the wrong products for your skin, and that just goes with not knowing your skin type. A lot of guys and women for that matter, not just guys, but a lot of people just don't know their skin type. So there's that. The other thing is just some of it is just genetics and you just have oily skin, but that's good news. We can totally deal with that. The other thing is that a lot of men don't want to use a moisturizer because they think that they have oily skin. And so that's going to make it worse. But the opposite is true. So a lot of times your skin will produce excess oil if it's not getting enough moisture from, like we talked about, maybe from you're not drinking enough water. Or just that it's the summer. And so we avoid using moisturizers. And so then your skin starts to produce even more moisture to compensate for that. So the good thing is that the products, again, I know I keep saying this, but the products that I use are customized for men. So moisturizers that I give you to take home are going to stay matte, 100% guaranteed. They're never going to get oily. You're not going to look shiny. And so I would say that the lack of exfoliating your skin and getting the dead skin off so that your skin can breathe is one. And then make sure that you're not skipping moisturizer.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And then one of the other things that I notice with skin is this whole idea of wanting to make sure that you like looking younger. Like guys, especially like my age group, guys that are in their 40s, and I don't know what your average age of clients are, but if they want to look younger, like is there a miracle cure for that? Or if they come in and do treatments with you and they're using these products, doing the 4 steps, shaving right, all that, it will is it something that will reduce like the look of their age, or is it I mean, that's because I'll have guys say that. It's like, well, I don't know. I'm 50 years old. I don't know. Well, I look good. Obviously. But what about like the age thing?
I think that so I use a product. I use it in my vitamin infused facials. However, you can take it home, or if you want to, Jason, we can call it the Tesla infused facial. If that helps. And it is called Intercept, and it is what is known as Botox in a bottle. And so it tightens up your skin. You can feel it like really, really, you can feel it right away. And it tightens up your skin. It is not Botox. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing injected. It's just a serum. And so that helps. The other thing is that, is it going to be like you're getting a facelift or something? No, but it will brighten your skin and it will reduce age, any kind of age spots. But the other thing is that taking care of your skin and starting to see a difference boosts your confidence. And there's nothing sexier than being confident.
Right. Exactly.
So I would say that really helps a lot. Also, if you're feeling good on the inside, then trust me, it's going to show on the outside.
Right. Regardless. Yeah. As far as, I mean, yeah, that would be the number one thing. But if I know, I've talked to men that's lost, 10, 20, 30 pounds, and the way that it changes their attitude and everything else. And I always encourage all my friends and stuff. And we're seeing that with this pandemic, people that have underlying conditions or obese seem to be the ones that, that haven't been taking care of themselves, seem to be the ones that are getting, they're getting hit the hardest with this.
Right.
So, and that's something I want to get into with like men's health, because you're a certified instructor, you're a yoga instructor.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of just stumbled on through YouTube yoga, and I always thought of it kind of like the girl thing too, and then I
Mm-hmm.
started seeing like, and I think there's got to be a market for like manly yoga or something, that somebody needs to come up with that,
It
or,
did.
oh, do they have that?
Yeah, it's Broga.
Broga. I love that. Yeah. I'll have to look that up, Broga. But I mean, it's interesting because you've like, it's so intimidating. Like yoga's intimidating. I mean, I do it at home, but like I've gone to hot yoga before and I lasted like 20 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Horrific. And then you got everybody around you, and there's all these women mostly, and then they're, that's distracting because they all got yoga pants on.
Oh, I know.
And then number two, it's like I can't even come close to getting into any of these poses that they're all getting in. So then you just kind of defeated in that. But I know like 110% that if I had to pick anything to do for exercising, and they said, Jason, you can only pick one thing that you need to do, I would not say weightlifting. I would say yoga, because it's just amazing how it's like, I used to have back problems all the time. And I've
Yeah.
been doing yoga for 6 years, I think, pretty consistently.
Fantastic.
And I don't have back problems anymore.
That's incredible. Good for you.
Yeah, but what do you like with men and yoga? Because I know there's a stigma there. What would you how would a man get over that? And like, because a lot of men can't even touch their toes. You know what I mean?
I do. And let's be clear also that a lot of women can't touch their toes either. And it's funny because I'm also single. And so like you would think that being a yoga teacher would be like sexy. And the number one thing that I hear is that it's super intimidating. Uh,
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
yeah, I hear that. I'm like, really? Oh, okay. Boo. But okay.
You do a yoga. Is there enough room for you to do yoga at your studio?
I know. That's so funny. We should ask
Have it for men?
and do a broga session. Um,
Yeah,
Here's what I would say about that is that doing yoga for men, and I mean, really for everybody, but if we're speaking about men, is really important because for a lot of reasons, but it reduces stress big time. I realize that it can be intimidating. I would say sometimes it can be a little less intimidating to go to a gym, because in gym, trust me guys, I work at gyms. It's a big mix. I would say a lot of my classes are half and half, men and women, and so it's a little less intimidating. Or I hate to say it, and I love studios, but sometimes going to a studio you'll notice more women. And so if you're a guy, if you're a man and you're really feeling intimidated, sometimes going to a gym can be a little bit easier to walk into a class. And trust me, there's no reason to be intimidated. I know that it sounds really cliche, but no one is judging you. It's all about getting some lubrication in your joints so that you aren't getting old and walking around completely hunched over. If we're speaking about sex drive, hey, listen, that's got to come up. Yoga really, really circulates your blood. So, read between the lines why that might be a benefit.
right. The breathing.
Yeah, I mean, it really helps men. I think that men tend to carry stress in their low back. And I feel like women tend to carry it in their shoulders. And
Right.
it really relieves low back pain a lot and keeps you more mobile. And here's the other thing: if you want to go lift, if you want to go run, if you want a dirt bike ride, you need yoga. You need flexibility in your body so that you can enjoy those things without getting a serious injury if you fall.
No, that makes sense 100%. Plus, I want all the guys to know, because everybody follows and listens to Joe Rogan. Joe
Yeah.
Rogan does hot yoga 2 to 3 times a week, and he swears by it and he loves it. He said that's probably one of the best things that he can do. So I know how good it is for you. I know what it's done in my life. But as far as like getting groups of men together or having classes or something, it just seems like that it's kind of yoga's always kind of seemed to be more geared for women, you know?
Well, I think it's all in that whole stigma, and what's funny about that, or the irony to that, is that yoga was actually created for men.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So that the whole thing was to if just to be really honest, the whole reason, or one of the big reasons that yoga was derived, is to keep men's sex drive in check so that they could be, spiritual, so that that could be their journey in life, and so that they could abstain.
Yeah, no, yeah, I had read some spiritual books on that. I have a spiritual podcast that I do too, and so we had
Yeah.
gotten into that with a couple guests, and they were talking about that, because in India, when they were having monogamy, but then there would be
Mhm.
some teachers that would not have sex with anyone, and they would
Exactly.
have to go, and they would go years and years and years. So they used that. I think it's like Kundalini energy or something like that, but they would have to force that energy out. And that,
Right.
and then and a lot of guys are like, well, you lost me there. I don't want, it's not so much a spiritual thing, but like you said, like it amazes me how many, and I had heard this on a podcast called Align. The guy was talking about, an amazing guy from Austin, Texas. He's like, some people can't even get up, from sitting on the ground. He said the ancient people, we always sit on the ground, and we
Yep.
would sit on the ground and then get up. He's like, most people, you go to an office chair, you go to your car, and you're at that level. So when you get older and people are having hip problems, and there used to not be hip surgeries.
I know. Well, I also think that our so many things contribute to that, but your body should be able to sit in a chair for an extended period of time. And I hear a lot of people say, oh, well, I have back pain because I sit in a chair for a long time. I don't know. I do think that our tissues memorize certain shapes. Um,
Right.
However, to me, that sounds like a lack of movement. um,
Yeah, yeah, no, exactly, 100%. But I mean, like yoga, just to be, I would say majority of people over 40 probably could not last 5-10 minutes on a yoga mat,
yeah.
and that's something that, and then when you go to India and stuff like that, there's people almost 100 years old that are, doing yoga for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. So you have that ability inside of you to accomplish that. And it's going to, for me, personally, it healed my back issues. So I
Yeah, that's
know,
incredible.
yeah, so I know that, and then if you're running and or you're lifting weights, because you're
Mhm.
just doing that one little, push pull exercise, that's all you're doing. So to be
Mhm.
able to open up, like you had said, to be able to oxygenate your muscles, get your blood flowing, it's going to help you in weightlifting, mountain biking, hiking, whatever else you're doing.
Yeah, and I mean, I really do see a lot of people that fall, guys that ride dirt bikes. Speaking of being intimidated, here's one for you. I also get intimidated. I walked in, I train at an MMA gym myself, and it was really intimidating to walk in. But those guys are working a lot harder than me, but they're working really
Right.
hard. But they also, guess what? They do yoga at MMA gyms because they need to stay flexible so that when they do fall or when they do take, any kind of impact, their body doesn't just break. Everything's fluid. If you like to mountain bike, let's say in the foothills, or you like to dirt bike ride, anything like that, your body is a lot more fluid and can take a fall. Not that I want you to go out and fall, but should you fall, maybe you won't break something and delay your life by having to recover from an injury, rather than be able to kind of get up, dust off, and move on with it because your joints are lubricated.
Yeah, I always tell people, if you really want to know whether you need to do yoga or not, I do this with people. I was like, do neck circles, and
Yeah,
then see how
right.
you'll actually, when people do full neck circles, you'll actually, they can feel it and they'll hear like this cracking and and I'm like, you've got some stuff going on. You need to lubricate all
Exactly.
that.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I teach classes, I want people to know that when you come to class, I am paying attention to the skill level in the class. I'm not going to look at a class that can barely touch their toes and then tell you, let's do handstands. I'm going to do something that's therapeutic for you and that complements your life so that you're getting the benefit out of carving out time and maybe even getting over your ego a little bit, not in a bad way, but being real and walking to a class. I respect that. I totally respect that. And I want you to get the most out of your practice.
No, I love that. And so because we're coming on an hour, so I want to make sure that we keep it under that. But one of the things that I really want men to understand and know that is they have to think of health and they have to think of themselves. So whether they're married and they have children, you want to be able to. A friend of mine, his doctor told him, because he had a heart attack, his doctor told him, he goes, you're not going to, with the rate that you're going, you're not going to see your daughter. You're not going to be able to walk her down the aisle. So you just need to accept that. And then he's like, holy fuck, I need to, but sometimes we need to think that way. As men, we need that shit that jars our head and says, you take care of yourself. It's only you. You can't, you may have a life insurance policy or whatever, but what good are you when you're dead? To your family, to your children, to others, to your work, because we donate so much of our time and energy to our work. And then we just forget about our health. What could you, just for the next few minutes that we have, and then I want to make sure everybody, gets a hold of you and looks at getting these treatments and getting their skin in shape, especially. What are kind of some of the things that you could leave with men that they need to do, health wise and skin wise?
Yeah, I think that drinking enough water is really important. So make sure that you're drinking enough water on a daily basis. Get rid of some of the processed foods. Just ditch that. It is 2020. We have got to get rid of all the sugar that we don't. Sugar also looks awful on everyone, by the way. That's a great way to dull out your skin and pack on pounds that we don't need. So ditch that, and that just by drinking more water and cutting out processed foods, or at least minimize the processed foods, will make your skin look very, very different. Switch your cleanser, guys. Switch your cleanser and know your skin type. Start there. Come see me. Let's just talk about it. We can completely shoot the shit. You probably are noticing I'm not a scary person. Yeah, and I would say that's just start small. Make some really small goals. You don't have to, go through a million products to look good. Just do a few things and take care of yourself and boost your confidence. And it's sexy.
No, I love that. And if they want to, let's make sure that we get the best way that they can contact you. What would be the best way if they want to set an appointment with you?
Yeah, if you want to go to steelblademenssalon.com, that would be fantastic. You can book. Don't mind my profile picture. I really hope that my boss is listening to this. Change my profile picture. What everyone knows it's like awful. A long time ago,
so, what's wrong with the picture?
Oh my gosh. Like nothing against anyone, but it looks like I'm about 100 pounds heavier than I am.
Oh, really? Oh, that's like the worst thing ever.
Like, where the unflattering.
Now I'm gonna have to go. Now you've got everybody just off the picture. You've got everybody to go to the website. This is brilliant marketing. Great job, Jasmine. I know I'm curious.
Look, and you know what? I hope you all do look, so that way when we meet face to face, you're gonna be like, "Wow!" And then you can go tell Stacy, change Jasmine's profile picture.
Stacy's are just like parents.
Yes. And so you can book an appointment by clicking on that god awful picture with me, and you can DM me at Men's Skin Lab ABQ on Facebook or on Instagram. And I don't know, maybe I'll get a broga class going, and I'll hang out with you that way too.
Yeah, and you had said something. I know you had DM me something that you were going to do for our listeners.
Yeah, and guys, I have a giveaway. So I'm not sure exactly how do you want to do that, Jason. Whoever books.
Yeah. Let's see who books, and then from there, from those that DM you, we'll just randomly pick somebody.
Absolutely.
I have a random generator, so you can email me the names of those, and then we'll randomly pick them. But it's like I know this isn't like a normal, you said you had like, this like an expensive sample pack, right?
It is. I have a travel pack, and of course it's customized based on your skin. If you feel like you have dry, oily, sensitive, or dry, or what am I saying? Sensitive or normal skin, I'll give you a travel kit based on that. If you're not sure, again, come see me. And the travel kit is worth $120, and it's
wow.
size. Yeah, it's incredible, and it's sample sizes of the cleanser, pH balancer, a serum, and moisturizer.
Oh, that's perfect. So I will, when we send our email, because we email all the business owners here in Albuquerque. So when I send that email out, I'll make sure we put that giveaway on there. We'll put a link to your Instagram so they can DM you. And then we'll have everybody go to your Instagram. That should be the best way to do that. And then from there, we'll randomly pick somebody. I think that will be awesome. Well,
Yeah.
Jasmine, this has been awesome. I appreciate you taking and stepping in for men. And hopefully we'll get over our stigma and take care of ourselves and, and sit there and say health is number one in our skin and everything that we need to do. And I do appreciate you. This was a fun conversation. And I appreciate you coming on today.
Thank you so much. Yeah, this has been a total blast. I hope I see you and everybody else, whether it's at the gyms or, in my chair. I'd love to meet you.
Perfect. Well, thanks, Jasmine.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on the Albuquerque Business Podcast. And thanks to our sponsor, RigbyDigital.com. Make sure to subscribe and share. And go to abqpodcast.com. Get show notes, resources, and links to everything we talked about today to help you navigate your journey as an entrepreneur and business owner.